Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So, Whoopi Goldberg was suspended from The View for her Holocaust comments saying it wasn't about race. Well, in my previous video, you can have a look. I detailed everything that she said in that and her apology on Stephen Colbert's show. But she got suspended for 2 weeks for saying the Holocaust wasn't about race. She was called out on The View by the co-hosts, which was interesting to see. ABC is owned by Disney, and Disney has had previous controversies, which they have had with Gina Carano. Now, Gina Carano was in The Mandalorian, and she also made a comparison with Jews in Nazi Germany. Now, it wasn't anything like saying the Holocaust wasn't about race or comparing that. It was saying how the government can turn their citizens against each other. It's not wrong. And it's kind of maybe what we've been seeing, some double standards in the last couple of years. And that's exactly what Gina Carano tweeted out, and she's trending now on Twitter. So let's take a look at what she said and the hypocrisy, the double standards from Disney, ABC, for what they did to Gina and what they're doing now to Whoopi Goldberg. So here we go. Gina Carano's tweet, 2 weeks to slow the double standards. Play on words, perfect for 2 weeks to slow the spread. Everything that happened, what happened in 2019, let's just say that. Now, 2 weeks to slow the double standards. Now, what is the double standard? Turns out Whoopi Goldberg was suspended from The View after saying the Holocaust isn't about race. Now, she got a 2 week suspension. ABC, Disney gave her a 2 week suspension from The View, her show. What happened to Gina Carano? Can anyone remind me what happened to Gina Carano? So Gina Carano reposted an image on her Instagram, which was put on Twitter as well. The main point is, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? There's also Drunk 3PO's tweet that doesn't exist anymore, which she responded to as well. No, shout out Drunk 3PO. So, in the wake of Gina Carano's controversial social media post, Lucasfilm has released a statement, and they said, Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. She never denigrated people based on their culture. Her post had nothing to do with that. It was comparing how the government turned against its citizens and turned its citizens against each other. This is another one on Esquire from back when it happened. If you were on social media early in February and saw hashtag Fire Gina Carano trending, then there's a follow-up. Gina Carano, who played Cara Dune, has indeed been fired. There was a hashtag Fire Gina Carano campaign trending on Twitter to get her fired from The Mandalorian, from Disney, Lucasfilm. This is saying because of multiple insensitive posts via her Instagram stories. One compared America's political divide to Nazi Germany. We just had a look at. They asked for her to be fired, and then she was subsequently fired by Disney. Now, this isn't the first time Disney's had an issue with one of their actors posting things on social media, because we also saw another double standard when Pedro Pascal comparing MAGA people to Nazis again. And also Confederates, rebels. He can do it and nothing happens. Gina Carano does it, she gets fired. And now Whoopi Goldberg does it and she gets a 2 week suspension from her show, The View. Ridiculous. The funny thing is that someone has written an article now after Gina Carano gets fired and cancelled basically, but now luckily the Daily Wire picked her up and now she's doing movies there. A whole Twitter campaign to get her fired is now fired from Disney. Now, people are writing on The Independent about Whoopi Goldberg. Look at this double standard. Look at this. Don't cancel Whoopi Goldberg. Her Holocaust comments need to be discussed openly. I'm all for that. But double standards, which Gina Carano points out. 2 weeks to slow the double standards. Massive campaign to get her fired from Disney, which eventually happens because she made a social media post a while back about the 1930s, whereas Whoopi Goldberg literally said the Holocaust wasn't about race. And a bunch of people called her out, and now she's been suspended for 2 weeks. But this person is now saying, don't cancel her. Her comments aren't just offensive, but quite simply incorrect. So what she says is pretty normal in this, but the double standard, you want to cancel Gina Carano for saying one thing, but Whoopi Goldberg, who is a person of color, says something more outrageous, probably more abhorrent than what Gina Carano said. 2 week suspension. Should she be cancelled? No. Should Whoopi Goldberg be held to the same standard that Gina Carano was held to? The same parent company, Disney? Yes, she freaking should. Keep some consistency, please, Disney and the leftist. So there it is, the double standards from Disney with only a 2 week suspension from Whoopi Goldberg. Shout out Drunk 3PO for getting into a Deadline article. and having your Twitter suspended. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share this video out there, and I'll see you in the next one.